Snow drifted across the glass facade of the Solarx corporate tower, swirling like tiny white whispers against the night sky. The city below glimmered with lights, alive, festive, joyful. But on the top floor, behind a closed office door, the world felt cold and unbearably quiet. Ethan Ward, CEO of one of the largest tech conglomerates on the East Coast, sat slumped over his desk. His tie was loosened, his sleeves rolled up, and the soft amber glow of the desk lamp cast long, lonely shadows across the room. He tried to focus on the file in front of him, but the words blurred as another wave of memories, raw and sharp, cut through him. This was the first Christmas Eve since his wife Amelia had passed. 1 year ago, they had sat at this very desk, eating takeout noodles, laughing because their Christmas turkey had burnt in the oven. She had teased him for being the king of work and failure of cooking. And now he was the king of a building filled with darkness, emptiness, and echoes. His chest tightened. He inhaled sharply, but the crack in the breath betrayed him. Before he realized it, a tear slid down his cheek. He wiped it away quickly, frustrated at himself. CEO didn't cry. Leaders didn't crumble. Men like him weren't allowed softness. Not when thousands of people depended on him. But loneliness didn't care about reputation. It carved its way in any way. He leaned back, staring at the Christmas decorations his assistant had insisted on putting up. A small artificial tree, a glittering snow globe, a strand of warm yellow lights outlining the window. They all looked painfully cheerful, mocking his hollow heart. Outside the office door, the floor was supposed to be empty. He had given his staff the entire week off. No one should be working, especially on Christmas Eve. So when he heard soft footsteps, faint but present, he frowned. Maybe security, maybe someone picking up a forgotten item. But then, a tiny voice drifted through the hallway, high and curious. "Mom, are you sure he's here?" Ethan straightened. A door opened, then closed. More footsteps, the soft shuffle of small shoes. Before he could rise, a gentle knock sounded on his office door. He hesitated, then opened it. A woman in a simple winter coat stood there, her cheeks pink from the cold. She looked startled to see the CEO himself answer. Beside her was a little girl, no older than 6 or 7, with a messy ponytail, bright mittens, and a tiny backpack shaped like a penguin. "Mr. Ward," the woman said breathlessly. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were still here. I clean the offices on this floor. They needed extra help tonight, and since it's holiday pay, I didn't want to turn it down." She trailed off, embarrassed. Ethan knew her. Maria Alvarez, part-time janitor, full-time single mother, quiet, hard, working, never late. "It's fine," he said, returning her polite nod. "No need to apologize." The little girl peeked around her mother's coat, eyes wide. They sparkled like warm brown stars. "You're the boss man," she whispered loudly. Maria hushed her, mortified, but Ethan couldn't help giving the girl a small, tired smile. "Yes," he said softly, "I suppose I am." The girl stepped forward, studying him with exaggerated seriousness, like he was a puzzle she was trying to solve. "You look sad, Lily," her mother gasped, but the girl didn't waver. Children rarely fear honesty. "It's Christmas Eve," Lily continued, "and Christmas is supposed to be happy, but you look like you're not happy at all." Ethan opened his mouth to respond, then felt his throat close painfully. He forced a smile. "I'm just tired," he said. "Long week." The girl nodded, though it was obvious she didn't believe him. "My daddy used to get sad like that," she said matter-of-factly. "Mom said when grown-ups get sad, it's because their heart is too full, and there's no place left for the sadness to go except out of their eyes." Maria covered her face with a groan. "Lily, seriously, honey?" But Ethan let out a short, breathy laugh. It wasn't much, but it was the first genuine sound he'd made in hours. "That's a very wise explanation." Lily beamed proudly. "I know." Maria tried to guide her daughter away. "We'll finish cleaning quickly and leave you alone, sir." Ethan nodded and closed the door. But the quiet returned, colder than before. He sat back down, picked up his pen, and stared at the papers again. But the girl's words lingered in his mind. "You look sad." Maybe he did. No, he definitely did. He rubbed his temples and exhaled. 2 minutes later, a soft thump sounded outside his door. Then another. Then a whisper. "Mom, he's definitely crying. I can hear it." Ethan blinked, stunned. Maria's whisper hissed back, "Lily, no, you cannot. Stop making up stories." "But I can feel it." The girl insisted. "When someone is lonely, you can feel it in the air." Ethan stared at the door. Something in him cracked. Something raw, something heavy. something he had buried under work and responsibility and grief. Before he could decide whether to open the door again, it swung halfway inward. Lily stood there holding a small plastic container filled with cookies that were awkwardly shaped, some too burnt, some not cooked all the way. Hand-drawn frosting hearts decorated the tops. Her mother stood behind her, mortified beyond words. "I'm so sorry, sir." But Lily stepped inside like she owned the place. "Don't cry, mister," she said, her voice tender, too tender for someone so small. "You can borrow my mom." The words hit Ethan like a blow. Borrow my mom, the innocence, the sincerity, the compassion he hadn't felt from anyone since Amelia had died. He swallowed hard. His eyes burned again. Maria rushed forward. "Lily, sweetheart, that's not." But Lily turned to her mom with the kind of confidence only a child could possess. "You told me Christmas is for sharing, and he needs a mom right now. You're a good mom. He can borrow you until he feels better." Maria froze, caught between tears, embarrassment, and the tenderness of a child who didn't understand the boundaries of adult sorrow. Ethan pressed a hand to his mouth, trying not to break in front of them. He wasn't supposed to break. He wasn't supposed to feel this much, but he did. He crouched to Lily's height, his voice unsteady. "That's very kind of you," he said. "But why would you want to help someone you don't know?" Lily shrugged. "Because you're alone, and nobody should be alone on Christmas Eve. It's a rule." "A rule?" he echoed. She nodded firmly. "A big one." Maria knelt beside her daughter, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. "We shouldn't bother Mr. Ward. He has important things to do." Lily lifted the container. "You should eat one. They're not pretty, but they're Christmas cookies. Cookies fix everything." Ethan hesitated, but only for a moment. He took one. The frosting was uneven, the cookie lopsided, but when he bit into it, it was warm, sweet, human, something made with love rather than obligation. He closed his eyes, and the tears slipped out. He didn't sob, didn't crumble. He simply let the tears fall silently, a release he had denied himself for months. Lily leaned closer, her little hand reaching out. She gently placed it on his arm. "It's okay," she whispered. "My mom says crying means your heart is trying to be brave." Maria felt her own eyes sting. She had never seen her daughter speak with such delicate understanding. Ethan wiped his cheeks, embarrassed. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't mean to." "You don't have to be sorry," Maria said softly. "Everyone has a hard Christmas sometimes." Her voice, warm, maternal, cut through him like a bomb. "How about this?" Lily said brightly. "We're going home after Mom finishes work. You can come eat dinner with us. We have soup and tamales and a little Christmas tree that leans funny because I tripped on it." Maria turned red. "Lily, we can't just invite. He's the CEO, so," Lily blinked. "He's a person, too." Maria whispered desperately. "Honey, his dinner is probably very fancy." Ethan shook his head slowly. "No," he whispered, "it's not." Lily lit up. "Then come with us." The woman looked torn, worried she had crossed a line, but Ethan spoke first. "If it's truly all right," he said, I would be honored." Lily squealed. Maria stared at him, stunned. "Mr. Ward, our home is small, very small, and simple. You don't have to feel obligated." "I don't," he said gently. "I'd just rather not be alone tonight." The woman softened, and for the first time in a year, Ethan felt something warm bloom inside him. Something like relief, something like hope. Later, after the cleaning was done, they walked together through the snowy streets. Lily chattered the whole way, telling him stories about her school, about her lost tooth, about her collection of mismatched socks. Maria apologized for every little thing, her daughter's enthusiasm, their modest neighborhood, their tiny apartment. But Ethan shut her worries down with a simple truth. "This is the first Christmas Eve I've felt human," he said quietly. Dinner was humble but delicious. The apartment was warm, filled with Christmas music that crackled from an old speaker. When Lily insisted they decorate cookies together, Ethan didn't say no. They sat around the small wooden table, listening to the little girl's laughter illuminate the room. At one point, as he placed a star-shaped sprinkle on a crooked cookie, Ethan realized he was smiling, truly smiling, for the first time in months. Lily climbed into his lap, hugged his chest, and whispered, "See, borrowing my mom works." He hugged her back, swallowing the ache in his throat. "I think you might be right." Maria watched them, eyes shimmering. She hadn't seen such unmistakable sadness in someone's eyes since she'd lost her own husband years ago, and she hadn't seen someone heal, just a little, so quickly. Christmas Eve passed in soft warmth, laughter, and quiet understanding. When Ethan finally left, Lily hugged him goodbye like he was family. "You can borrow her again anytime," she whispered, and something in Ethan's heart, something fragile, something long frozen, began to thaw. As he stepped into the softly falling snow, he realized that for the first time in a long while, he wasn't returning to an empty world. He was carrying a piece of warmth with him, a child's compassion, a mother's kindness, a borrowed family just when he needed it most. And deep inside, Ethan knew this Christmas Eve had saved him, not with grand miracles or expensive gifts, but with the little girl's simple, generous words. "Don't cry, mister. You can borrow my mom."